a few episodes back. Whoa, my voice again cracked. It's the second time that's done that in like 5 minutes. That's weird.
Reverse puberty.
Going through puberty again. We talked on this episode on this podcast a few weeks back about the yearbooks.
Mm-hmm. And yearbook photos.
Yearbook photos and looking at them and reminiscing and all that sort of stuff.
And bangs.
And that's going to come up again this time, as we get to see the yearbook and what all's in it. That's what we're doing today on this week's episode of Jared and I'll Watch K-On! Episode number, 39,
Mm-hmm.
as we discuss season 2 bonus episode entitled Visit. I guess technically it's episode 26, but you know how those things go.
Yeah.
I'm Jared, joined as always by the Doc Owl of Doc Owls and Ladium.
Hello.
So let's talk about, well, I guess before we even get into yearbooks and everything, we got to talk about the weird opening this episode has. And just like, what on earth is going on? Oh, it's so weird. They are weird. So we get a flashback to when Azusa first joined the Light Music Club.
Uh-huh.
And you see Ritsu and Mio with Sharpies, and they're talking about trying to make themselves look better. And then it cuts to Yui and Mugi standing in front of Azusa, and they have like eyelashes drawn on, and they're just holding their eyes open
Not
the
blinking.
entire time, not blinking. And Azusa's just like, "What are you guys doing?"
And they're both shaking.
Like, this is fine. Nope, nothing weird's happening here. No. Ritsu and Mio come out, and then Mio like makes mention that she's like, "You wanted to make this look like a family photo," and I was like, "What, family photo? What are you talking about?" And Ritsu's like, "Oh, nothing. Don't make any mention of that." She brings out a camera and sets a self timer on it, and then goes to sit down. They all sit together. Mugi just pulls out a child and holds it, and I was just standing there like, They take the picture, and then when the picture is taken, they all have their eyes closed, and on their eyelids they have like eyes drawn on.
Which the funniest part is that Mio is like, "I'll draw my own on. It's fine." And then she draws them when you see the picture, they're going in
They
opposite
look terrible.
directions. What a weird opening.
And that's just it. That was the opening, and then they don't address it ever again.
Nope.
It's just like, wow, you guys are really weird.
Why did Azusa agree to join this club?
That's a great question. I'm pretty sure, like, when we were watching that, when they were first doing it, I was like, yeah, these guys are weird. And then by the end of it, I was like, they are fucking weirdos.
It's so weird.
We come back to the present,
Mm-hmm.
thankfully. The seniors are there, even though they don't technically have to be there because they are post-entrance exams and are just, waiting for graduation and all that sort of stuff. Nodoka shows up and shows them the mock-up for the yearbook. And they look through that to see some pictures and everything, and they look at all their photos they got taken. Everyone's just like embarrassed by their photos.
Yeah, Ritsu thinks that her forehead is shining like crazy.
Mm-hmm. Mio just thinks she looks weird, and then Yui's just like, how does mine look?
They're like, "Oh, it looks very Yui."
And he's like, what does that mean?
And then she has like this vision, like at one point, that there's gonna be like this girl 100 years down the line that's like, "Grandma, look at this girl with the weird bangs in your yearbook."
Oh, that was Miss Hirasawa. So Yui basically now goes on like a mission, like, we are gonna get this photo replaced in the yearbook somehow. And everyone's like, this is not gonna work, but sure, okay. They also have to take the mock-up yearbook to Miss Yamanaka because she is not there
She is
at
ill.
school. She is sick, and they're like, well, we don't have anything else to do. Why don't we just take it to her and she can perform the edits and everything she needs to do there at her house, and we'll bring it back by the end of the day.
They're also hoping that because she's sick that she'll just agree to whatever.
Yeah, so Nodoka entrusts the yearbook with them, and the four of them all head off with Yui again trying to get her photo taken.
One of my favorite things about this is they're like imagining this like glamorous apartment that she's gonna live in because she's their teacher and all, and then they get there and it's like, oh.
It's very normal.
Yeah.
Like, I think one point they're like, oh man, she lives so close. She could sleep until 8.
That was my favorite part. I want to sleep until 8.
It's pretty good. They also imagine that she just plays death metal all day
Yep. Which, I
in her
mean,
apartment.
makes sense.
So they get up to like where the apartment's supposed to be. They ring the wrong doorbell. Miss Yamanaka like peeks out and they like hide for some reason because they think like she's hiding someone in there. And then they go up to her door and like, who are you hiding? This is the school police.
Yeah, they have like this vision of like this man like hiding under the sink and then kicking out the cabinets. So like when people go away, I'm like, what is happening?
And she's like, I wanted to take the garbage out and I didn't want to have to get dressed. So I didn't want to there be anyone out there.
I just take my trash out in my PJs. I don't give a
Yeah. So she lets them in and they're like, oh yeah, here we go. We needed you to look over the yearbook. That's why we came. And she's like, you didn't have to come all this way for that. Mugi makes tea because, of course.
Yep, that's what she does.
They basically poke around all of her apartment and just like judge it accordingly.
Yep.
Yui tries to charm Ms. Yamanaka by getting her to get the photo replaced, and she's just like, nah, this is very Yui. Like, I don't care.
And she's like, it has to be
It's
done with a
staying.
professional photographer. She's like, oh, we can get a professional photographer. We can get a camera. It's fine. It's fine. Like, no.
They keep looking through the book, and they're looking at the class photo, and they see a mysterious hand on Yui's shoulder, and everyone freaks out.
They all just like throw themselves away from it.
Yes. This is, of course,
Disembodied hand.
like it's a disembodied hand. Who put that there? We gotta get it replaced. If you remember back when we watched that episode originally, I mentioned Ritsu putting her hand on Yui's shoulder is going to come up again.
Yep.
And this is the exact moment it comes up again.
And it actually is a very small scene. Like, I didn't expect it to end so quickly. I thought it was gonna be a big deal.
It's just like, oh, it's like Ritsu just remember like, oh right, I put my hand on Yui's shoulder. Oh, okay, that's it.
Yeah, like it was over very quickly. But
Yep.
then you have Miss Yamanaka like reminiscing about some of the photos of the girls throughout the book.
So they decide to, while she's gonna edit and everything, they're gonna help her do stuff around the house. One of them will cook, the others will clean up, do laundry for her, which is like ridiculously nice.
Yeah. Although
They
she
all-
was like hoping that one of them would get to cook and not Yui.
They do rock paper scissors to see who gets to cook, and Miss Yamanaka's like, please let it be Mugi, please let it be Mugi, please let it be Mugi, and then you see Yui like, I won! All hail the conquering scissors!
But then she's like, so how many grains of rice are in a cup of rice? And she's like,
She-
oh God.
She opens like a book. It's like recipes even a monkey could make. And everyone's just like, oh god.
How many grains of rice?
So all that goes down. Eventually, it becomes later in the night. Some of Miss Yamanaka's old friends come by, and that's when the Light Music Club decides to
Skedaddle.
bounce. So they all go back home or go back to the. I think they go back to the school, or they just go home. One of the two. But they mentioned like the other friends of Miss Yamanaka's are like, how's the Light Music Club going to be next year? We know you guys are graduating. Is it going to be fine? And everyone's like, and Miss Yamanaka's like, it'll be fine. Don't worry.
And they're all like, is she going to hold us back?
Yes. You just think they're going to get held back, and everyone's like, no one is thinking that but you. What are you talking about?
It's really fun.
Earlier in the episode, there's also a scene where Azusa is with Ui and June, and she calls Miss Yamanaka to see like when they're going to be coming back to the rest of the Light Music Club, and they are being very like sneaky, and they're like talking about doing something and they don't want the others to get mad at them for doing it. So they go back to the school because they have to obviously deliver the yearbook to Nodoka and everything. They stop by the club room and they think like, oh, we should see if Azusa's still here and everything. They hear playing being in the club room, and Yui's like about to jump in. They're like, hey, Yui, shh. They hear the playing, and then like Azusa like peeks out and is like, oh, hello, and then Yui's like, run away.
And then everybody just like hauls away from it. I have a running scene with him like touching the turtle and all that jazz.
Yui does the Naruto ninja run.
She does.
It's really good. We get a interesting rendition of Fua Fua Time.
Yeah, it's very weird. I don't know that I liked it.
Especially because that trio would not be playing it like that, I would assume.
I don't think so.
But basically that is your one tease essentially of what the Light Music Club's going to look like next year. Part of it, at least.
And say, is it just those three?
No.
Okay.
They will gain another member, one or two members. I think they gain two more members. But essentially, since obviously the anime doesn't adapt K-On! High School and K-On! College, Azusa will become the president of the Light Music Club. She recruits Ui and June, and they recruit two other members to join the new Light Music Club, and they form the group Wakaba Girls.
And then
basically,
after school tea time just is in college?
Yeah.
Okay. Without Azusa?
Yeah.
Okay. So there's two Light Music Clubs, essentially.
Yeah. Pretty much. Like, that's how the post anime manga portions go.
I see.
So there you go. We end the episode, and there's another flashback of them taking photos, and they're like trying to jump in unison. And Mio's like, I don't need to time it. I'll jump when I need to. And I'm the
one that's been perfect every time.
And Mio is the one who's late.
Yep.
That's how we end our episode.
Yay! It's an episode about pictures.
It is an episode about pictures. So that leads us into next time, where we will be discussing the penultimate episode of K-On!
Nearing the end.
We are nearing the end.
Nearing the tears.
Yep. Next time we will discuss season 2, episode number 23, entitled After School. So we are on the road to the end. But if you'd like more from us, go to seasonlanguagecheckup.com or ssc.cool. It's where you can find past episodes of this podcast and other podcasts like Season Language Checkup, Season Language Checkup OVA. And you can find columns and reviews on the site as well. If you'd like more from Ann Ladium, go to annladium.com. She's got columns and reviews. And you can follow us on Twitter, twitter.com/animecheckup. So next time, let's all have a bunch of tea and see what happens when the Light Music Club just spends an entire day at school doing nothing.